Hey, hey, hey! Lucky Boys podcast with another one. Sorry, I'm bugging out because it's like the weather's just fucking awesome.
You got a nice view.
You got a nice
from
view.
You.
Right?
I'm just like looking at your kitchen. So, you know,
it's pretty cool. What's up, everyone? This is Will.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Lucky Boys podcast. This is Norm. Welcome back.
Yeah, and wow. So warm weather's coming up, and it looks like people don't give a shit about this quarantine because holy cow, was everyone out or what?
I saw people biking. I saw people having picnics, but everyone was, they kept the distance. People walking their dogs. I saw people wearing masks. So
I mean, there's some outrage. There's some outrage with people saying, there's basically clusterfucks of people and they're not respecting the social distancing. They're not respecting other people by especially the joggers. And there was a ton of bikers yesterday, a ton. And I got to be honest, like maybe for every 10 bikers that I saw, there was one biker wearing a mask. And I can't imagine that it's comfortable.
Yeah.
I get that part of it where if you're a biker, you're like, you know what? Fuck this mask, because I can't breathe. I've been quarantined for so fucking long. And at this point, I just want to have some sense of normalcy. Mm-hmm. So they're out there getting their exercise in. They're biking. It's 75 degrees out. Just perfect New York weather.
And it's open space, right? So they're not really, grouped in together. So what's the point of wearing a mask?
Right. But people are freaking out. I get the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
They're going, this motherfucker, if he has the virus, if he has or she has the virus, is biking around, just breathing all the fucking air out. And everyone that's walking behind, every person that person, the jogger or the biker is passing, is inhaling all those particles.
Yeah, it's true. But then, I think the only reason why, if you had the virus, the only reason why it would travel is because if you cough or sneeze, it has a longer, it's the aerosols, they will travel longer. But if you're just breathing, I don't think that will really affect people. Let's
say that's 100% conclusive. Yeah. I don't know if that's a fact. Yeah. I don't know if you if you're in the same breathing area. Like if I'm in a locked room with someone that has
you just don't want to be near them. You just want them to be.
And that person didn't cough or sneeze and they're just breathing. I feel like there's a very high probability that I have it.
Okay. Yeah.
That just imagine like a regular cold or flu. Just forget about the coronavirus for a second. During the winter season.
Yeah.
If I'm in the same
vicinity,
right, as someone that has a cold or a flu, usually I would start getting a tickle in my throat, and that person didn't cough on me or sneeze. But I think when you speak or when you're breathing, you do emit
aerosols like the spit, it's in the air.
Microparticles. So you can inhale it. So when you're biking, think about it. Your heart rate's up, and you're going
puffing.
Yeah. So there's got to be some particles that you're letting out that that if you have a virus, I mean, think about it, and just a little bit of wind carry that, and just.
I think that's a choice.
A perfect example is someone is smoking, and they exhale.
Yeah.
You don't need to be next to them to breathe in the secondhand smoke. If you're a good distance, you can smell like someone's smoking. So that gives you a perfect example of how it can travel, right? I mean, I'm not a scientist. I don't know for sure, but if I'm just saying, if I could smell someone smoking far away because the wind, I'm in that direction of the wind where it's blowing, and they're smoking a few steps ahead of me, 10, 20 steps ahead of me, I'm going, wow, if that person sneezed or did whatever and they're not covering their face, that means there's a chance that I can inhale whatever they got going on. That's a huge concern.
No, I think it's a huge concern, but then I think also if you take that chance to go outside and you want to enjoy the nice weather, you gotta know that something might happen.
Okay.
Fair enough. I think about that.
Fair enough.
I mean, people can, get at me, but I was going hiking the other day and I didn't wear my mask. And I would only put on my mask if I saw other people coming towards me.
I saw so many people doing that, where, and all different types of people, couples, people that were by themselves, where I saw them in a distance, and once we saw each other, we kind of tucked our mask up.
Right. Yeah.
I get it. It's uncomfortable. I mean, if you're going hiking and you're not wearing a mask, but at the same time, if what they say is true, that it can live in the air for what, 3 hours, whatever. I mean, it keeps changing
couple
every
hours,
time I read it. But if it is a couple of hours, I mean, then that doesn't really matter. And which goes to your point. If you're going out, then you're pretty much...
You're risking your life.
You're risking your life for some sense of normalcy. Hey. And I get it, because I've been risking mine.
You hear about all these, like, even divorce rates.
Right. I heard about China had, when they were going through this, and this is the Asian culture where it's taboo to have divorce, and the family looks down upon it, and it's just not a thing that Asian people... It
shouldn't exist in Asian culture.
Right. And... They had a record number of people file for divorce in China while they were going through the coronavirus.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah.
It became a norm.
And I could see that here where people just decide, like, you know what? I guess I didn't know this person like I thought that I did. I didn't love this person like I thought I did. Maybe I was in lust, or maybe I was under this spell, but now I'm out of this spell. And this person, like, the way this motherfucker eats... The way he chews, breathes. I'm not gonna lie.
The way you fart.
Have you ever been like in a relationship where you were with your significant other at that time, and I don't know, something just clicked where you just kind of fell out of it, where everything they do is just annoyed the shit out of you.
Oh damn! Is that the
like
time
if they ate a potato chip? Like if you're just sitting with them. And they're eating chips, and you hear that crunch, crunch, crunch. Right. And you're going, what the fuck? And it's just bothering you so much. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. And it's never bothered you before because you never thought of it. You can just walk away, but nowadays.
And every kiss feels like a kiss from a family member, or you're just disgusted. You're like, ew.
I think that's the time to move on. Those are strong indicators.
Right. So did you ever have that before?
Well, I mean, right now, living, on a consistent basis with my girl, she started farting in front of me, like on a consistent basis.
Okay, that's cool with me though. You can fart in front of me.
Yeah, but I'm like, damn, her farts. I never thought this, but damn, her farts are freaking smelly.
Yeah, I think girls have worse farts than guys, for the record.
I thought girls when girls farted, it smelled like potpourri,
like strawberries.
Strawberries.
You know why I think it stinks? Here's my theory behind why girls' farts stinks worse than guys. Here's my theory. Number one is like when they eat, they like a lot of them don't pig out. Like they'll I know a lot of girls that'll go hungry and not really say anything. Just to watch themselves from gaining weight. So that creates like a lot of acid bubbles. And then when they actually do eat, is just attacking, just raging on the food, just breaking it up. And that'll cause a lot of gas. And just like the certain type of diets that they have and the amount that they eat and maybe the time that they eat. That's one that I've seen. The second part is because they fucking hold that shit in. It's just marinating the stew.
Wow.
They're just holding it in because they don't want to fart in front of you.
Yeah.
They're trying to quietly fart or just go somewhere, but if they can hold it in, they don't want to get up, and they're just holding it in. And by the time they just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm comfortable with them now, and they just let it go, and you're like, holy shit, dude. That's my theory.
Yeah,
that's my working theory.
Well, that's interesting.
I don't know if anybody has anything else to add to that theory, but I would love to hear it. But that's my two theories. Maybe
because they don't pig out, it's like they don't have the gut bacteria like same as men do,
right?
So they don't have the bacteria to kind of break down the food that they eat. So it's more, I don't know how that's
and it becomes more
scientifically
gaseous,
I'm thinking about
the
that.
acids is just going nuts on it.
Yeah.
And it's just causing a lot of gas and then they just a lot of hot air in there, and it just gets compressed because they hold it. It's like a Naruto Rasengan, just and then it just lets out. It's just like all this energy, and it's fucking stinks.
It's an explosion all at once.
Do you think relationships will kind of change in the future? I've been thinking about it, right? Yeah. Now that we're on that subject of divorce and relationships and being together, I think one of the primary causes of breakups are infidelity. Mm-hmm. It's not because, this person, you can't stand the way this person walks and talks. I don't think that's a primary thing. I think the primary case for heartache or breakups or divorce usually is because of infidelity. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. Either that or they want to break up with someone only because they don't want to break their heart. They want to see other people, right? They still like this person a lot. They still love this person, but there's like like an inner calling for them to be with someone else.
Well, variety is the spice of life. You know,
exactly.
Having something
they want to explore, whether you're male or female, you want to explore other people. You want to get to know other people. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's new. It's exciting. You're fulfilling your fantasies, or maybe sexually or mentally. You know, it's not a one size fits all. I think it's extremely rare that one person checks all these boxes, mm-hmm. right? Maybe it's a few things, right? And then you'll have to settle somewhere. So I think that's the number one cause, in my opinion. I think that if they did an actual case study on it, I think that may be the number one cause of breakups. So that being said, I wonder if there'll be an accelerant to the culture of dating in the future, because it already has shifted dramatically since I was coming up. You know, just think about back in the day where there's arranged marriages.
The marriages lasted longer.
Right
back in the day.
And there was like really no such thing as divorce, mm-hmm. right? And it was very rare.
Yeah.
And now it's more normal, and it's weird to have an arranged marriage, mm-hmm. right? So if we just fast forward a few decades or maybe even 100 years, right? Would relationships change where it's completely normal for a couple to date other people? Mm-hmm. Kind of like an open relationship, but together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there will be no such thing as cheating anymore in that context, because culturally it's acceptable. It's acceptable, and it's actually normal, right? There's no such thing as that anymore. Like before, it was like you couldn't even think like, oh, you met someone and you love them and you refuse to go with the hookup that your parents want you to. You know, you were promised to this person.
Yeah,
I know some cultures still do that. I actually have a couple of friends, that have arranged marriages, and I get that. But in the future, what if that culture shifts? Mm-hmm. Where, like, for example, you and your girlfriend have a Tinder-like profile together, mm-hmm. or you and your wife, or I mean, if you get married, right? And you guys, and someone can swipe right on you. I don't know if that's the right context, but swipe right means you like someone, right?
I think so.
Okay. Come on.
I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about online dating apps. But currently,
I've been out the game for years, so all right. So swipe right. So they could swipe right on a couple. Mm-hmm. So what if it's perfectly normal for example, you're coming home from work or whatever, and then you see your wife kissing on somebody else, and it's socially acceptable. It's like you coming home watching your wife cook or watch TV. You come home, you see her and the other person she's in a relationship with, mm-hmm. whether it's a girl or guy, doing stuff around the house, and you're like, hey, what's up?
I think it's going to be
as long as you're the primary boo. There's like a primary boo.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's
a primary bae, you know, yeah. And before anyone else. But there's also other people that come after the fact. Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll ever get there?
We've seen that in society now. It's taboo to us, people outside, people looking in, but people who believe in polygamy, people who are swingers, it's normal to them. They call it the lifestyle. It's normal. And I think if we were to look at it from a standpoint like, oh, how do we maintain these relationships that we have with people that we truly love, but we do want to explore, I think that's a conversation that needs to be done with your partner. And I think it will evolve into something like that, because, you know, I've thought about like, oh, swinging is like a pretty interesting thing, like, you know, but I don't think I have the mental kind of.
You don't have the programming.
I don't have the programming. I think a lot of feelings and emotions are involved in that. You have to be mature and say like, you know, this is where we're at. And
that's striking to me, where you just said we may evolve into that. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're almost you're saying it without saying it, like the way, like it's primitive the way we are right now. Being exclusive to one person is a primitive thing. Mm-hmm. It's a primitive lifestyle. It's a primitive form of dating.
Well, I don't even want to say it's like primitive.
Well, you say evolve, right?
Yeah. So, yes, evolution.
We're in a older stage or mentality of being.
Yes, the mentality I think is primitive. But if you're talking about like animal instincts, the primitive way of instinctually thinking about relationships is propagating with as many
spreading your seed.
Yeah, spreading your seed as much as possible. That's the primitive thought process of mammals.
Sure.
So yeah, that's why I wanted to explain like the primitive part is we're in an old way of thinking about relationships.
You know what? Even like Jay-Z said it in one of his lyrics. He said, "Have an affair, act like an adult for once." You know, or did I get it? Have an affair and act like an adult for once. And I was just like, damn. And that's like you get taken aback by that lyric, and you go, hold on. It's like, as I gotten older, I'm like, yo, everybody fucking cheats.
Well, not everybody, but most people.
Yeah. Like you start going, whoa. And then you start seeing like when you start growing up, you go, oh, there's a couple of people cheating here and there on your friends cheating and this and that, or this, or you getting cheated on yourself, or maybe you're doing the cheating, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you're not, and then you've had, I guess, like a shelter view of relationships. And as you move forward, you get older and you start seeing it more. You start becoming more exposed to some of the cheats, right? Or whatever we label in society. And then you start realizing maybe your parents cheated, right, on each other, or your friends' parents, or your friends telling you that their parents cheated. I mean, it was just crazy. I had a mixed bag of all of that, where I got cheated on, where I seen my friends get cheated on and hurt. And then as I gotten older, I've learned that my friends' parents that I used to go out, go and dinner with all the time, they cheated.
Wow.
And it's just across the board. And this is like Asian households where like the husband, like my boy's very good friend of mine, like his father left his mom, even though he had a couple of kids. He just straight up bounced. And a lot of people, there's this idea that Asian men don't do that. And
we're human beings. Everyone,
we're human beings, right?
It happens.
But I could say that, like, yeah, I mean, it really blew my mind because I didn't think, like, even me, I'm as an Asian American man, seeing an Asian man that was born with the China culture and came over here as an immigrant, and me looking at him face value, I would think he's a hard worker. He's gonna do this for his family, and he supported his family. But man, as soon as his kids was able to do, it's my other friend. As soon as his kids became men, or when we all became adults, he left.
Oh wow.
He left. Like he didn't do it while they were kids because he didn't want them to grow up without a father or a broken home. But as soon as they became men, adults, he bounced. I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like I feel for them. You know what I mean? Because like you go, wait, dad? What the fuck?
Yeah,
like, but that's my dad. Like I didn't think he was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
It blew your mind because it wasn't the cultural norm. Like if
cultural norm and
my
the betrayal.
Dad, if my dad left, I would be like, what the hell?
The betrayal. I'm like, yo, fuck you, dad.
Yeah.
I would feel all sorts of ways. I would just be such a mixed bag. So that being said, I just feel like, okay, what if we change this? Would
that save marriages, you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Think about it. Like everybody will be cool with each other. Here for your birthday,
I have a surprise for you.
I
got this big ass cake. Something's
inside that big ass cake. Exactly. And that'll be like, I could totally see that shit, man. I could totally see it where, sex in our culture is becoming so normal, right? Back then you couldn't talk about sex with your parents. It was just very taboo. All sorts of stuff. Porn was extremely taboo. Like people were shamed if they watched porn. I mean, shamed. If they had a Playboy magazine, they were shamed. It was just so, you were deemed as like an outcast of society, very perverted.
Yeah.
So everybody had to keep their porn and whatever fantasy that they had that weren't so black and white, a secret.
Yeah.
So they had to have a stash. I mean, we still do. I think people still have porn stuff, but it's like it has gotten so acceptable, it has evolved so much where I know couples openly talk about, their sex life. Mm-hmm. They openly talk about which porn that they watch, and they actually watch it together with friends. They watch it together with friends. Couples.
Damn, that's very open.
No. When I was a kid, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I was a teenager.
Yeah, but you're a kid though. We're talking about like married. We're talking about like people in relationships.
But as a kid, if you could do it as a kid, I mean, no. Not like as a kid watching it with my girlfriend. I didn't do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid with my boys, mm-hmm. I remember like I got. We had sleepovers, right? We had a sleepover at my friend's house, and he'll be like, yo, look, I got it, and he had like a porn tape, and he just put it in. I'm like, oh shit, or he had the box where he was stealing cable.
Yeah. So
he had the Playboy channel, and I think at that time it was the Spice channel.
Yeah. I
think that was a porn channel. So
he had cable. So he had like all access.
Yeah, so we would always sleep over at his place because he had all the channels. He had HBO, Cinemax.
Yeah. Skinemax back in it. Well, yeah. Still.
And then he had the porn channels, so that we would just sleep over. All of us would sleep over, and we just watch movies, and then we'll all watch porn together. It was like the weirdest fucking thing.
Well, back in the day,
it was normal for us during that time, right? But
I think that's a normal teenage boy kind of story because back in the day, my friend in high school, he used to be like the porn library. Like he had cassettes upon cassettes of porn tapes.
As a teenager?
That he got from his dad, or his dad like handed down to him. Okay. So in the back of his like drawer closet, he was like, "Hey, do you wanna borrow some of these?" And I'm like, "What? Borrow what?"
What?
He's like, "Take a look." And I'm looking back behind his drawer, and I'm like, stacks of porn tapes, and I'm like, "Dude, what? Yeah, I'm gonna borrow these." So. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's taboo.
I think that's where the good sex comes in. When you can honestly and openly communicate that to your partner. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. I think you feel kind of like held back or not really satisfied if it's just this bland, boring thing all the time. It's just you kind of take the excitement out of it. I mean, a lot of people say if you're in a relationship, I hear a lot of people say this, a lot, where they go, sex is at least 50% of the relationship.
Mm-hmm. No, I want to say much more.
Right? Yeah, but it's at least 50% of the relationship. So if let's just say, for arguments or whatever, let's just say sex is 50% of the relationship, then why aren't we exploring that more? Why aren't we talking about sex more? Why aren't we doing more things that are sexual, mm-hmm. right? And just kind of having fun with it and kind of just discovering each other, just getting to know each other physically, in that way, right? Physically, mm-hmm. mentally, spiritually. Why aren't we exploring that? Because if we could get that part down as a relationship, then we'll check off like more than 50% of the boxes that we have in our internal. And you know what? You want to lock someone up in a relationship. If you have this deep sexual connection, I think that'll be very hard to unlatch. Mm-hmm. Very hard. Like, let's just speaking as a man, if you get a girl or a significant other that's just incredible in sex, and they just blow your mind, like just they're doing everything and like just checking whatever you're into, man, and it's just catching you. And then you go on, and let's say you guys break up for whatever reason, and that person moves on, he is always going to be thinking about your ass. I can guarantee you that. He will always be thinking about that time that you did this and
where you did it.
Oh my gosh.
How you did it. How long you did it. How short you did it.
While he's fucking eating. While he's eating, he's going to be thinking, while he's traveling on a subway, on a cab. If they say guys think about sex every... I don't know, like once every minute, whatever the study was.
I heard women think about sex just as much.
Right. So just think about that. So yeah, he's gonna be playing back that time you did this, and he's gonna be like, it'll quickly be like you will become his fantasy because you put him up on certain things. And same thing for girls. I feel like if you put them up on certain things and you educate them and this, and you realize and you kind of explore together and you go, oh, I really like that. I'm really into this, and nobody else kind of just tastes like you or do it just that way. Like, it's like making a meal. It's like no one can cook like your mom. You know what I mean? No one can make that dish just like her. You know, I have one of my good friends. He says, you know, his wife, he loves that dish so much. He wanted his wife to take that recipe so that he could always remember his mom, because his mom's getting up there in age, and he wanted like his favorite dishes just so that it could pass along that tradition and he can still taste that type of dish. So, you know, coming from that, you know,
the memory, the emotions are all connected to that.
His childhood. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. It's like, yo, no one can make this thing like mom. And I think there's a lot of women and men that feel like that. No one can make this like mom. No one can be like that, like your dad. And I think that's in a relationship too. Like, no one touches me like this person. No one speaks to me. No one understands me like this person.
Yeah.
I think when you check those boxes, I think you have that person locked in on you for life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For life, man. They'll never forget you.
There's just a physical and emotional and mental connection.
Oh man.
With through sex, right?
Through
and
sex,
it's very important.
Through love, just through feelings. It's all about feelings, and sex is a feeling. Love is a feeling. Having deep conversations and laughter and experiencing new adventures together, those are all feelings. And if you're in a relationship and you can get those feelings
out, be able to talk about it.
Yeah, at a high level, in the most honest way possible, I think that's what you can say, I love about this person. And you will never forget this person.
Maybe that's the evolution of relationships. Not about open relationships, sex, but it's really about communication, right? If you're able to be open and communicate, like, this is what I like, and maybe it's strange, but this is who I am, and then your partner is like going back to you and saying like, you know, I understand that. Maybe we can explore. Maybe we can talk more about it.
That's hard. That's beautiful, but that's hard. That's like, you know, that's why they say like what divorce rates like 1 out of every 2 people.
Yeah, 50% or even more. I think.
Right.
Now.
So, how many people are gonna want to hear you out? How many people are not gonna judge you and think you're a freak, or think you're a nerd, or think you're a square, or think you're too uptight, or too conservative, or too liberal, or too whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know how that's hard, man, to have to, and how many people are actually going to want to hear you? Some people just going to want to be self-serving, and they're going to say, fuck what you want, it's what I want. So it is the next level of relationships, absolutely, but I don't think that'll be a social norm where people are considerate of other people's feelings. I don't think we'll evolve into that. I think it'll always be some form of miscommunication. I think there would always be some sort of me, you know, and that's not love, by the way. It really isn't. But you could be in love and get caught up in me at times, but at the root of it, love is when you love someone like more than anything in the fucking world, and even yourself, and you're willing to do absolutely anything for this person, right? That you believe will help this person. I think that's love. I think that's an expression of it, right? I think if you aren't willing to make that level of love and sacrifice and commit to someone in terms of communication and sacrifice, then you just like that person a lot, or you like what they can do for you at the moment. You're not really in love. And anyone that's not sure if they're in love, then you're probably not in love. You're probably not in love because, for example, anyone that has kids, if you don't know what love is, as soon as you have kids, you start going, holy, okay, that's love. You know, if you go, okay, that's absolutely, that's love. It's like psycho love, and it's like
the unconditional. Like, I don't care what you did. Well, you know, you might piss me off, but I still love you.
Yeah, and if it's unconditional, you'll always love them, no matter what.
Yeah.
So if you're in a relationship, no matter what this person does to you, you'll always love them. You don't have to like that person. You don't even have to be with that person. You could break up with that person for whatever reason, but no matter what, you'll always love that person. That's true love. You know, that no matter what, through that person dies, you still love them. If that person cheats on you or does all this shit, you know, you don't like them anymore. You break up with them. I get them, but you still have this feeling of love and loss, and that hurt is because you love them.
That's hard to do, man.
Yeah.
Someone cheated on me. Oh, I don't know if I can be in love with them.
I think
still love them.
Then it's a conditional love.
It's conditional, yeah.
Right, and that's hard to go. Oh man, so I only love the idea of this person. That wasn't really the person. I didn't really know them like I thought I did, or that person tricked the shit out of me.
Love and sex, man. It's so mysterious. I don't think there's one answer for everything.
No, that's very true. It's not a one size fits all. I think, love and sex. It's one of these topics that it's different for everyone. Everyone has a similar but a different experience as well. Just they define it differently, and it's as mysterious as UFOs.
Oh.
Speaking of which, look at those. There's like 5 military old school planes flying above. What the fuck?
Did you see the military angels? The
Blue Angels.
The Blue Angels flying?
I did.
Over?
I
really?
did.
You had a good view?
It wasn't, I had a very good, they're literally
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Open skies.
We were actually just laying down having a McDonald's picnic here.
Mm-hmm.
I went out to get some McDonald's, and we had the French fries, the nuggets, the cheeseburgers.
Oh man, that reminds me when I was younger.
And the sun, because I have my kids, and I was like, they gotta have the McDonald's experience.
Yeah,
I know it's not healthy, but whatever people say, but like, hey, I grew up on McDonald's. I'm perfectly fine. So did you, and a whole bunch of my friends.
Hey, Warren Buffett eats McDonald's every morning, so he's still living.
I think everything in moderation. So I was just like, I don't feel like cooking. And we had a nice spot here, so we just kind of moved everything out the way.
Yeah,
we had a indoor picnic, and it was actually Lisa's idea.
Yeah,
so she laid out the blankets, the picnic blanket, and then the pillows. It was all nice, and I was like, oh wow! And the sun was coming in nicely, and we were just sitting right here. And we had the morning sun. Afternoon sun.
And you had the panoramic view. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then the planes flew by, and we had we're just chomping on McDonald's, man.
Yeah,
drinking on our Coca-Cola.
It's funny. Me and Gabby were like chasing after the
Blue
Angels. Yeah, so it came over my house. One of the planes, and you hear it. It's like deafening. Like it was like shaking the house, and it was flying really close, and then it was going towards the water. And so me and Gabby, we bolted out, and it's like, what time is it? It's like, they're supposed to be around this area at this time. So we just ran out of the house. We went to the water, close to the water. People pulled over on the highway.
Oh wow!
They pulled over on the highway, just sitting on their cars, just waiting for the Blue Angels just to fly over again because they were circling.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's crazy. Yeah, but I did hear some people say, you should put that money into, the economy.
Yeah. Help essential workers or something like that.
Yeah, help the social workers and all this stuff.
I think it was already planned because Blue Angels,
they do it every year.
year.
And that's what I'm saying. Like people can be so fucking negative. Even when they're trying to do something nice. Yeah. People can go, you know what? Fuck you and your nice shit. But you got to understand that this is something they do every year.
Yeah.
They did this last year before the coronavirus, and this time it was just dedicated to those
essential workers.
Yeah, so
it's a beautiful thing because I felt distressed. I just imagine people who are working, constantly. Yeah. They need some kind of breather and step out of their norm.
And it brings some some patriotism to you. Mm-hmm. It's like you feel like a sense of unity.
Yeah.
And man, it's just we live in a world where there's enough negative shit, and let's not feed into our own negativity, and that's hard to do because social media, it's so easy, and that's what grabs headlines.
Yeah,
is the negative shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that Blue Angel stuff, man, that shit was beautiful. Like I appreciated it. It gave me and my family an opportunity to have a perfect indoor picnic. Mm-hmm. And just look out and just watch it fly by. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was absolutely beautiful.
Would your kids go nuts if it was like a UFO that just swings by?
Because they don't know that.
Oh, the difference between airplane.
as far as they're concerned, like they'll believe whatever I tell them. Like if they're watching TV and I tell them, those aliens are real and the UFOs on, like if we're watching, like first of all, they wouldn't be watching Independence Day. It's too much, for them. But let's just say they did, and they were watching Will Smith blow up aliens and stuff, and they were, led to believe that. And if they saw it, they'd be like, oh yeah, so UFO. Because I think if you raise kids with that mindset that it's just normal, that aliens are out there, and sometimes aliens fly into Earth, just like it's normal that for example, if you raise a kid and all they ever saw, like if my kids, all they ever saw was Chinese people, or Asians or Koreans or Japanese, and all they saw was other Asian people, the moment that they see someone that's not Asian, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Holy, look at this person, look at their skin,
it's so strange.
Look at their hair, look at their eyes. They're going to be blown away.
Right.
Blown away. They're going to be like, wow. Right. So that's the same thing. Like we weren't raised to believe that. We thought this was, or we all, like most of the people living on Earth think that it's science fiction. Right. I mean, and as you get older, you go, wait, there's a lot of space out there, man. Like,
yeah.
It's entirely possible that we may not be alone.
And they've visited us. UFOs might have visited us in the past.
Right. And it's becoming more mainstream and popular to have that belief, where people back in the day was afraid to say something like that. They would right away, they would dismiss you as like, you're a screwball. You don't have all the, you have a few screws loose. Mm-hmm. So, but now they're like, no, actually, I see the whole sentiment shifting, where people are going, you're very close-minded if you think we're the only people that's like have like the only intelligent being that has life, in this whole universe. Like you are extremely close-minded and ignorant, so it's shifting the whole thought of that. I think it's very interesting that the Pentagon recently released UFO footage.
I was so shocked too. It was
holy shit.
What was the reaction they were trying to do? And they didn't really explain it. They just put it out there.
Yeah, they go, here it is.
Here it is. We've had this in our stockpile for a while, and we just want to release it now during the coronavirus pandemic.
That's what blew my mind.
Yeah,
it's not that the UFO footage. I mean, I saw that footage from like Joe Rogan's podcast, right? He had I watched this video so many times. I've seen him in so many interviews on Fox, CNN, Vice,
Tyson
Faber.
Okay.
Faber.
Is he an astronaut?
Pilot. He's the pilot, the Air Force pilot that actually witnessed that video. That was him.
That's his voice on the.
That's him. Yeah. So.
Okay.
So I find it very interesting that the Pentagon or the United States government actually shared that.
Yeah.
Because it comes from someone that's so reputable, so credible, right? And this guy's not looking for fame, right? He doesn't care about any of that. He's just going, what the fuck was that, man? He just wants to express this somehow. Because I know I would if I saw some crazy shit and I'm I'm a military pilot.
I'm up in the air, like. Yeah, his commentary was so hilarious.
Yeah, like what the hell is this?
Yeah, he was just shocked. Yeah, but then he wasn't like freaking out about it. He was like,
of course,
this is like, I think he was coming from a place where, I don't know what this is, but this is crazy right now. This is scientifically not possible what this object is doing, but he's not like, oh, I'm going to shoot it down. He's like, I'm going to track it. I'm going to follow it.
It's just crazy though, like that you have all of these you have this credible pilot, right? And then you have this government agency going, here you go. Mm-hmm. Take a look. That's to me.
You make it what you make of it. Like the
I know that video was out way before they made it official and said, yeah, here. But there's one thing if the guy from Tom DeLonge, the guy from Blink 182, the ex, I don't think he's with Blink 182 anymore, but he's with Blink 182 and a band member shared this versus the Pentagon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
from a reputed source.
Right. So now you got, you got a government sharing this. Now nobody can say shit. You can't say that UFOs aren't real because that's exactly what it is. It's an unidentified flying object that moved at an insane pace. That physics that as we know just should not happen. It's something that is literally impossible to our knowledge to comprehend. If we move like that, the G-force and that would just kill us alone.
Yeah, I saw that little dot. It was like moving back and forth through the screen.
It's like the way I could move a mouse.
Yeah, mouse cursor.
It's insane.
Not physically possible.
So that said, I think if we were raised where UFOs was, just to tie it all back together, if we were raised to go, oh, this is normal, where we could see spacecraft out there, we knew that there were other beings that weren't human, that they were aliens, right? So to speak, that, this race of aliens, that race of aliens. I think people would accept it like the way we accept Star Wars when we watch it. I think people would just be, okay, that's normal. Cool. Some people would actually, they may fall in love with another alien and,
interracial, interstellar relationships.
Hey, whatever, right? I mean, they might fall in love with someone that's like purple. Like they might be into purple people, Yeah.
Avatar. Those Avatar.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Those avatars, those aliens in Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh, they were very sexy. I have to say, I was very attracted to the way they designed it.
You love tall women.
I do.
You love tall women.
Oh, they were giants. I forgot about that. They were super giants. Yeah.
So I can see why you'd be into that.
Yeah, but even the way they designed it, the eyes, the mouth, the features were very soft, like the females. Yeah. Yeah. So
you must love giraffes.
Oh yeah, they okay.
They're long legs, tall, got the long eyelashes,
the nose, the big eyes, and the ears.
We're going into really weird areas now. Yeah, but I don't know. Do you think we're alone? Well, what do you actually? Even better question. What do you think is more concerning? The fact that we're alone, if let's just say that we're true. Let's just say it's fact that we're alone in this humongous universe. There's no other life anywhere else. There's no multiverse. There's no active, intelligent life in any other moon or planet. Nowhere else in space is there. Like Earth is just mega exclusive. That's it. This is all we got. This is it, baby. This is it. This is the whole show. Is that scary? Or is it scary knowing that we ain't shit? That there's life everywhere. There's like an insane amount of life just going on. There's a huge party of life just everywhere else.
If there wasn't any life in other planets or any and we're the only species that are intelligent enough to create a civilization, it's actually scary because I think eventually humans, without that knowledge of or hope or faith that there's something greater, we'll eventually destroy ourselves.
Really?
Because ultimately, I think people without faith or hope that there's something greater that they want to strive for, like going out to space, right? I think that will just keep us in a very low-level mindset and just, put us in a course where there isn't a future where we can strive for. So I think it's a scary thought that if people think that we're just we're alone in the universe, that would just create chaos. I think
it's the opposite.
Really?
Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Now on one end, I think I could get it in a religious sense where you need to create a God to keep people in check and tell people there's a hell and then you'll burn for fucking eternity if you don't act right? That not only do you fail to exist on this plane, that you will exist in another plane and just fucking burn and be tortured for the rest of your life with no water, nothing. You're just going to be fucking suffering for eternity, eternal pain. That's scary. That's scary. So I get creating something like that. But staying on a UFO level as humans and removing religion out for a second, right? And just talking about our existence in comparison to everything else, I think it'll be complete and utter chaos if it becomes public knowledge all of a sudden that everything that we believed in, that we were the only intelligent beings anywhere in the universe, has been disproven, and that there are other forms of life out there. And not only are there other forms of life out there, but we're actually cavemen in comparison to them. We're ants. The way we look at insects as insignificant and or unintelligent, that's the way we are to them. Mm-hmm. If they look at the way we war with each other, the way we fight with one another, the way we create this chaos and lack of harmony, and if we move that aside from we're looking at our technology, like these guys can't teleport. These guys go on these metal planes that are like stupid heavy, and cars that's creating all of this pollution, and they're just taking all the energy out of the earth in order to do what? Destroy themselves, creating like this disgusting air, and they're literally poisoning themselves in their water. I think people will fucking freak out. They'll freak out knowing that we ain't the shit. Mm. I think they'll freak out knowing that there's another alien species. They freak out. We freak out on each other. Oh, you're a fucking Democrat? You're a fucking Republican? You're Chinese? You're Korean? You're black?
You're saying that prejudices will rise.
We're already prejudiced with one another.
Yeah.
Just think about a whole nother fucking race of aliens, like the way
they wouldn't accept it. But the thing is,
we can't even accept ourselves. We bleed red. If a motherfucker bleed like green,
yeah,
their minds are gonna be blown.
Yeah.
If they bleed green and they're able to be intelligent and be in a spacecraft and just have higher tech than us, and just they're like 8 feet tall, and that's not like a normal shit, or they're just hyper athletic. They could just like.
I think we should look at it from
their minds will be blown. I think this whole world will be upside down. Stock market. Can you imagine? I'm telling you, I think the stock market will come crashing down.
I think everyone's going to invest in space travel.
No, man. Stock market will be crashing. People will be flipping cars over, rioting, looting.
It's like
it'll be complete chaos.
It's like, why would people just think it's the end of the world though? Because there's life in other planets.
People will be scared.
Mm-hmm.
People will be scared and they'll react. And all of a sudden they'll be like, wait, the government's not in control?
Well,
they can't protect me?
I want to take it from a different perspective though. Like
the stock market's crashing? What's going to happen to my money?
That's a very chaotic view, yeah. But then I want to take it into a different perspective. Like if we didn't hope or believe that life existed in other planets, there wouldn't be like the push for the space program, for space travel. Like what Elon Musk is doing. He's like, I want the human race to advance. I think that's for us to get to that level is because, we know that something is out there, but we don't know exactly what it is.
But I don't think that's what's keeping us in order. Right? We're arguing that or we're debating that, you're saying this is what keeps humans in order is that, that we have a hope that we can find intelligent life out there, that we are not alone. And I'm arguing that if humans, us as Earth, humans on Earth, find out that there's life everywhere else and they're more intelligent than us and they're like landed here and they're chilling, I think people are going to freak out. I think people will absolutely freak out. That's the debate that we're having. Mm-hmm. I don't think for one second we've always been at a stage where like minus 70 years ago, they didn't think space travel was was really possible. There was no hope of space travel within their lifetime 70 years ago, and they did just fine. They did just fine. You know, it didn't throw human civilization into chaos. But I think what will throw human civilization potentially into chaos, I think the scarier notion for humans as a whole would be that aliens came down, and their ship is just hovering above the White House, or the ship is just hovering around New York City, Empire State Building. It'll freak people the fuck out. I know I would be freaked out. I'm like, holy shit, what the
Well, yeah, you've never seen anything like that before.
People fear what they don't understand.
Yeah.
I'll be freaked out. If they did like Independence Day, like what they did with the spaceship in the White House and the spaceship in the Empire State Building. And, you know, I think you'll have people with signs like, yeah, bring me with you, man. You know, I think you'll have those.
The believers.
And then you'll have the other people that's like, hell no. They're trying to get the fuck far away into their bunker home.
You think they're here to save us? No, they're here to destroy us.
That's going to be my number one assumption. If they're just hovering around like major, like on some Independence Day, original one with Will Smith. If they're just hovering around like major capitals and monuments, and going to they're just parking in places of power.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
they're trying to communicate with people of power.
Yeah, I'm not staying in I'm not staying around cities to find out. No, man, I'm going somewhere where there's.
But if they have that much power, then you can't escape that.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna stick around. You know, you're not gonna. Hell no, man. I'm go somewhere.
You ever seen Signs before?
I did. Great movie.
Yes. So we never get a full glimpse of the aliens in the beginning, except that video footage when the family watches it on TV news, and then you have the aliens. One alien walking across the screen that freaked the shit out of me, right? It did. So I'm just imagining how that would play out in a situation similar to what you're describing.
That would freak me out.
That would be freaky.
That would freak me out. Yeah. It freaks me out like if a motherfucker just walks by that's not supposed to be there. Like I went hiking yesterday, right? And it was a quiet hike. It was a good hike, right? But it was like we're going through like the forest, the trees, the rocks. There's like a bunch of different terrain that we're kind of navigating through. But for the most part, it was just so quiet. So I didn't have to worry about anything. Like it didn't really come to my mind that anything would appear. And all of a sudden, a fucking chipmunk just goes through the leaves, the dead leaves, and just shh. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck was that? And I couldn't see it, but all I could hear was this thing just traveling like right next to me. And then I saw it was a chipmunk. So imagine that it's this fucking 7-8 foot person that's quick, and they got long arms and claws, and their face looks kind of lizardy and scales, and they just moving along like that. I'm gonna catch a heart attack, man. Like,
yeah, I'll be in shock. I wouldn't be able to move. I'd be like, what?
No, I'm gonna go into like defense mode. I say that shit, but I might be in shock. I want to sound tough, but you know what? I might be in shock. Yeah, that might. Yeah, something like that might shock me.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, because I'm going, like, I just wouldn't know how to process that.
Yeah.
Right? I've been taught my whole life that there's this is science fiction. And then if I see something like that in real life, where it's like undisputable.
Yeah.
Or indisputable, I'm just going, holy shit. I'm going to just be there memorizing, cataloging the whole.
Yeah, you want to take a mental picture and kind of analyze it. Is this real? Am I hallucinating or something right now?
But here's what's interesting, like on the other side of the coin, and I think a lot of people can relate, like where this is scary, the unknown, but also the known is scary too. Just if it was conclusive for whatever reason, we found out that, let's say Elon Musk got a spaceship or whatever, and let's say fast forward to the future, like 500-600 years, 1,000 years, and space travel's normal, and we keep traveling out there, and we pretty much sent all these robots, AI, all this stuff out there, and they can't find intelligent life, and that we are alone.
That's very depressing.
Yo, that's scary.
That's very depressing.
That's also very scary.
Yeah.
That's another scary thing. Like, let's just say we're in the year 3000, and we've been sending robots, and we figured out time travel in some sort, like where we could travel through like wormholes.
Wait, did we already colonize other habitable planets, like humans from Earth?
Sure,
like
why
they
not?
already.
Sure, why not? Let's say we're living in like moons and Jupiter moons, and you know we
colonize other planets,
Saturn's rocks,
okay,
whatever, right? and we've even gone to the point where we can go to other universes, right? I mean, other galaxies, and we can't find life, and we're going, that's and based on all the projections they're doing and the AI and what they've learned, they're going, no, you guys are, it's just you guys, even in the Goldilocks zone, you know, where there's other solar systems with the good distance from a star where they have a planet and there's still no life, where it's just intelligent life exclusive to us. Man, that'll fuck me up. I think that's scary. It's lonely. It's a lonely thought. To just go, man, what? It'll make me go, that's a lot of like wasted space. Like, what the fuck?
If there was a God,
it just wouldn't make sense to me.
What was his grand plan?
Yeah. Even if you're playing a video game, like if you have all this, like just say a creator or a God, right? In this sense, you would be, if you're a creator of a video game. Why the fuck would you create all this other shit and this little speck right here, this little fucking speck? That's the only place where you can play. There's no other levels you can go to. There's nothing else you can grow from this. There's no other imagination or challenge. This is it. What you have in this little blue ball, that's all you have.
What if the point was that that little blue ball was where it was supposed to sprout? Like that was the seed, and that was what's supposed to spread throughout the universe.
That would make sense. Number one, that's extremely egocentric, right? Like everything revolves around the earth, even the sun, right? That's one. Two, I can't believe that, because if what they say is true and that earth is still very young in the game, where there's been planets and other solar systems that's been around for billions and billions of years before we came about, which is, is extremely believable. And I think that's a fact, right? Well, to me, I mean, I've got conspiracy theories or whatnot, or what some religions say we're only like, 5,000 years old or whatever it is. But I think we've been around for much longer than that. But in terms of other worlds and galaxies and it's a fact that there's other star systems that's been around
much longer than
us. So why were there like other billions of years of head start in other places where you just wouldn't have? That's like if you're looking at a timeline, why would you just have a black screen in a movie and then like 30 minutes into the movie then you'll start the movie? It's a lot of, there's still, like, regardless, still a lot of empty space, like a void. Like, I just don't, why would you create a movie and just have that empty space in the beginning? Or why would you create a video game and you can't even begin to play it until later on? Or you can only have this one zone where you can play. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't believe we're alone. I mean, if we're alone, then it's a very depressing thought, because really... just thinking like the human race is the only, intelligent beings, is very depressing, because then we should be striving for something greater, right? So that what inspires us, right? The imagination of there might be other life, creating something out of nothing.
What I find intriguing is just the mystery of it all. It's the adventure of going to the unknown to make it known. It's a discovery phase, and it's the knowledge. Just gaining like a different perspective, a greater perspective, no matter how minuscule it'll make me feel, which I already do. I already feel very small when I look at how much space is out there, and in the context of how Earth is, in the context of a sun, and how the sun is in the context of another sun in another galaxy, and it's just, you're just going, whoa, we're so fucking small. We're just a speck. And like Carl Sagan said, like there are more stars in the universe than there are grains of sand in every single beach on Earth.
Wow.
That's mind-blowing.
It is.
Mind-blowing. Just think, I can't even really conceptualize that mentally. Listen to that. Just imagine that in your head. Like you listen to it and but just imagine that and think about, just look at the sand that's on a beach. That's a whole lot of motherfucking sand. And you just get a handful of sand. You're going, you can't even count how many grains there are. Right? Yeah. But just think of every fucking beach, every desert. And there's more stars out there.
We can't be alone. Yeah.
But just
trying to understand it will blow your mind. I don't think
I can't even really fully comprehend that. Like, I get what he's saying. I get it. I get he wants
to quantify it so that a human being can imagine.
But we're that small. It's that infinite. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, yo. We ain't shit. What the fuck we doing then? It's like our problems and our thoughts and just as a collective really ain't shit. Like, we should be striving for something much larger. Much larger.
I was hiking yesterday too, and we were on this beach, and we were on the cliff, and we were looking at like the ocean beyond, and it was just empty, and it was like going, for miles and miles, just imagining like you said, we're so tiny in this like speck, and that this world that we have, like looking out, it's like infinite.
Yeah, man. It really makes me wonder, like, on some spiritual shit, like, when our physical beings move away, will we have those answers? When we lose the physical with spiritual, will we be able to like kind of move about
on a different plane?
Yeah, and then kind of get that knowledge and love or whatever it is, have that sense and just go, okay, yeah, I get it. But maybe we can't fully conceptualize that because we don't have enough, our bodies can't contain enough of that energy to really catapult that information to us. We're finite, we're limited. But then when we become spiritual, we just become part of the whole system, a part of a collective, and therefore we can understand better. I mean, I don't know. This is me just...
You become a fabric of existence, of the past, future, and present.
Right?
I mean, that's actually, I have a recommendation for that. This show called Afterlife. It's on Amazon, and it's talking about the digitization of your afterlife. So basically, some people, they wanna have a natural death, and they really believe in heaven. Mm-hmm. And they wanna, when they die naturally, and then go to heaven, thinking that it's another plane of existence, so they can see their loved ones who have passed away.
Right.
And there's this digitization. I can't speak right now. About like how you can digitize your entire life, and there's a virtual world that you live in, and there's like different. It's like a retirement home. So there's like Lakewood, which is like the for the rich people, and there's like the 2 gig world, where it's like poor people that live in there. And
wait, is this like a computer game? I'm not really understanding.
No, it's a TV show. It's a TV show about what happens when you die.
But what do they take? Like, what kind of information are they taking? Like, they're taking...
You take your memories, and you take your like whole personality, and they're
putting it into
they put it in a virtual world.
So that you kind of live forever
in an afterlife, like a digital afterlife.
Holy shit! So you live forever, but you're in a simulation.
In a simulation, but you can also communicate with the real world. That's the crazy thing.
So the simulation won't even know they're a simulation. They would think that they're real.
No, they know that they're dead. Like the people.
The simulation knows that.
Yes. So the people who are inhabiting the simulation, which is considered an afterlife.
Right.
They know they're dead.
They're all aware that they are just a carbon copy of someone else. They're not the original. They're not the OG.
Yeah. They feel like the OG, like the original self.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But there are also people who want to die naturally.
Wait, so why are the poor people on some 2G shit?
Oh, this is like it's sort of like net neutrality. They can't afford the afterlife, So the poor people can't afford.
So they move a lot slower.
Like a different caste system, like a different scale.
Right.
So
they have them moving a lot slower in the program.
Yeah. So you have
That's fucked up.
So you have to pay for cloud space. So people in the poor, they call it 2 gigs because they only have 2 gigs of storage.
Damn, they'll never be able to compete in life.
Yeah. I mean, what's the afterlife? So they're dead. So they can't enjoy the fine things.
But in the afterlife, they can't even live there because it's like they'll never be like, because you'll be competing against everyone else that's 4G, 3G, 5G. You can never compete at that speed, no matter what. You can never compete in politics, influence, power, athletics.
It's only the rich people that go to the
unless you marry a 3, 4, 5G, you got to marry up.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, they haven't explored that yet, so I don't know if you can even marry up.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So is Afterlife on Netflix?
On Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any recommendations from your end?
What stuff am I? Oh, now that we're going to this whole AI thing, man, and this whole digitization.
I got you.
Got me.
Damn.
Digitalization.
Okay.
Did I say it? Digitalization. Damn, why are we struggling with words that have more than 4?
Digitization.
We're struggling with words that have more than 4 syllables. I don't have an excuse because I haven't been drinking or anything. I haven't been frying my brain cells.
I've been drinking this Pedialyte for adults.
Wow, I can't believe I couldn't say that word. Digitization. Anyway, Westworld. If you guys haven't watched Westworld, season 3, holy shit. And at the time of this recording, so far there's 7 episodes, and the season finale is tonight. And I got to tell you, Westworld right now is just so fascinating where they brought this entire world. First of all, the director, the actors, the stunt, the editing, everything, just from a filmmaker perspective, that is some A++ work that they've done. The details that they put in there, just an incredible, talented team of filmmakers. The writing, oh my gosh, I'm a huge fan of the work, that especially this season. That said, if you're just going from a storyline perspective and you're just watching the whole thing, it is so intoxicating. It's where they have these, and you watch Westworld?
I watched the first season.
All right, so you know how they have all of these robots, and they think that they're real.
They're real, yeah.
Right?
But in the games,
right? They think that they're human, right? And they look and feel and they interact, and all of them has been programmed, and they all have a certain programming to do a certain task, and that's it. So whether you're tasked to be a hooker, tasked to be a cowboy, tasked to be a damsel in distress, that's your programming, right? So and they replay that every single day, right? But one of these AIs became woke, quote unquote, and realized that they were just an AI, or she was just an AI, and then a few other ones started having this revelation. And season 3, spoiler alert, right? I don't know if it's major because I'm not saying any names and it doesn't ruin the watching experience, but spoilers, you guys can pause and click away if you guys, been meaning to watch it and haven't started it. But come on, we're 3 seasons in. They go in. They realize it, and they actually leave this amusement park of robots, and they blend into the rest of society, and they are trying to destroy humanity as we know it because it's flawed. So now it's becoming a team of AI versus humans trying to save, and you almost catch yourself rooting for the bad guys. Like, you don't know who the good guys are. You don't know who the bad guys are because you can kind of see it from both worlds. You can really see it. Like, no one's really 100% good. It's like such a good mix of yin and yang. So it's like on both sides.
So it's like the survival of the fittest at this point.
At this point, it's so intriguing. Season 3 is just amazing. I mean, it really brings you into the future. If you're really curious about the future, they really bring you into the future, man. And they're talking about like ride sharing apps, contact lens where you could, get all this information. They had this one amazing thing with this drug called Genre. and they shoot up with it, and it literally hits you with different genres, like in a film. You're going through romance, action, comedy. Like there's like
those are the most different emotions from different genres of film.
Yeah, you take this drug and it hits you with, that's the kind of genre you're in, and you're like in a club and you're experiencing all these different point of views. It's just insane. That was interesting. The architecture, some of the technology, the design, if you're into that, absolutely stunning. The clothing, the texture, the style, just so well done. So well done. And the apps that they have, and they kind of connect it to modern day in terms of privacy laws, and using these apps to connect with other people, but and this were kind of like the whole cryptocurrency, kind of the privacy, and where you don't know who's doing what. That this app where criminals, I think it's called Rico, and they all have jobs in them, so you can take to kill someone or to rob a bank or help someone, and it's all done in quiet.
So like the black market of the gig economy,
right? And there's an app for that.
Yeah,
and they really all just have these jobs, and they accept it, and then they go after it, and it protects everyone's privacy and the payment. There's no way you could gyp someone off their payment.
What did they get paid? Did they get paid in cryptocurrency or
just instant? Well, they don't say it's cryptocurrency, but it's some form of instant settlement of currency,
of funds.
Yeah. So they don't like, oh, here's Ethereum, here's Bitcoin, here's Ripple or whatever, XRP. They're just going, oh, here it is what it is, So Westworld, man, is just, and this story is so well done. Acting, incredible acting, man. The special effects, everything is just really, the details is just, it really brings you into the future. You really take a step into the future with that show. And I'm really excited for episode 8, which is the final episode of season 3. And I hate to see it come to an end. I have to watch.
Is it the series finale?
It's the series finale. No, the season finale. Season finale. And they have the guy from Breaking Bad starring this season. He's the centerpiece. Paul Aaron.
Or is it Aaron Paul? Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul?
Yeah, Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. Yeah. And I'm so glad to see him back in like a show that's, using his skill set. Just a great writing for his character. He fit perfectly in this season's episode. The directors did such a genius move on the way they casted him and the type of character he needed to be. Just brought out all the emotions. His chemistry with all the other actors on set, or what I could see in that film, it was just really good, really fun. It's a really fun watch. It's a nice way to kind of just make you think about that world, man, and what's possible out there, and what's like that line between science fiction and science fact. You realize that it's very thin, and in the near future, even within your lifetime, we could see some form of that.
That's exciting to see, but it's so depressing though.
No, it's not. I think it's exciting. I think if
AI is trying to kill humans, I'm talking about that aspect.
Right. No, that is scary.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. But we always, it's already scary. Like, look, there's people trying to kill people. So I'm saying what's exciting is that the evolution of people, evolutions of society. You have to move forward. You have to continue to progress, and you have to continue to fight for your survival. So I get all that. I'm just excited about the technology and knowing what we can do with it. I'm looking at the glass half full. I know that no good deed goes unpunished. I know that there's always going to be some other shit behind that, but you cannot stop evolution. The path is forward. And that's what I do know. So I'm excited for that path. The path will always be forward, and one thing that we can always depend on, or know that we'll move forward for better or for worse, right? That's the way time moves, right? As far as we know it, right? And that there will always be change. Those are the constants in life that I've seen. Is that time waits for no one, and that things always change. And that's the constant that I know that's there. So I can look at it and be scared, or I could go the other way and go, you know what, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the future. And when I look at kids, they say, I can't wait to be 6, 7, 8 years old. They, you know, and even when I was like 12, I couldn't wait to be 18. And when I was 18, I couldn't wait to be 21. And then when I was 21, I couldn't wait to be like 25, 27. So, you know, but now when you're older, you're like, yo, chill. That's enough. Like,
slow your roll.
slow my brakes. But, and then it's like a shift in mentality. And I go, hold on, now that I'm older and I start realizing, wait, hold on, what happened to that excitement about life? And it's because I'm not looking forward to things anymore. I'm going, I want things to stay the way it is because it's nice right now. I finally worked my way out that shit. But then I go, no, time out, man. There's way more to life. I got to keep looking for. I can't change that mentality. That's when my growth will stop. So I have to continue moving forward. I have to continue growing because if I grow, the people around me grow as well. You know, I'll be leaving a legacy behind.
Being excited for the future and being excited for what's out in the horizon.
Yeah. Everyone that's connected to me, you know, whether they met me or never met me, if I could leave a mark, and if I can help grow that, and they'll all come along with me one way or another. You know, if they're, you know, whether they're family or they're watching a podcast, maybe I said something that triggered some like awakening in them and they're able to move in a direction. You know, it revolves around my continued growth, right? And therefore they start realizing that, oh shit, I have an impact on the people. There's a radius of people that I also impact. So I have to grow myself too. And maybe that'll be the thing that snaps.
Man, you being excited makes me excited for the future.